They say the night hides more than shadows, and these stories prove it. From the hotel room no one checks into, to the voice that called from beyond the grave. Tonight, we're diving into 4 terrifying true encounters that'll keep you awake long after the video ends. Story 1. The Guest in Room 214, 500 words. I've worked the night shift at the Crescent Inn for 6 years. It's a small roadside motel. 10 rooms, flickering neon sign, the smell of old carpet, and a silence that feels almost alive. Nights are quiet, predictable, until one wasn't. It started just past 11 p.m. A man walked in, tall, pale, wearing a soaked gray coat that looked decades old. His eyes were empty, like he hadn't slept in days. "Room for one," he said softly, his voice echoing strangely, as if it came from a tunnel. I handed him the key to room 214. He nodded once, smiled faintly, and walked down the hall. When I looked at the register to record his stay, the page was blank. No name, no card, nothing. An hour later, the elevator dinged. I looked up. The same man stood in the lobby again, staring blankly at the turned-off TV. "Everything okay, sir?" I asked. He blinked slowly. "The TV in my room won't turn off." That was impossible. Those TVs hadn't worked for months. I looked down to check something, and when I looked back, he was gone. I checked the system. Room 214 was listed as out of service. It wasn't even supposed to be assigned. The manager's note on it read, "Do not use, permanently sealed." Then the elevator dinged again. Empty, but this time a strong smell filled the air. Damp soil, like something had just been unearthed. The intercom above me crackled. "Check me out, please." It was his voice. I grabbed the spare key and ran upstairs. The door to 214 was slightly open. Inside, the air was freezing. The TV glowed with static, and on the bedspread, a single wet handprint. The bathroom door creaked open slowly. My heart was pounding so loud I could barely breathe. I whispered, "Sir?" No answer, just the sound of dripping water. Then, the TV flickered and the static formed an image. A face, his face. The lights went out. I felt a cold breath on my neck. I turned to run, but something brushed my shoulder, wet and icy. The next morning, I told my manager everything. He didn't even look shocked. Instead, he pulled out an old newspaper clipping. "Man found dead in Crescent Inn room 214, 1989. The photo showed the same man, same face, same coat. Now, every few nights, the elevator stops at 2:14 a.m., and when I check the monitors, room 214's light is on again, even though the door's been sealed for decades. Story 2. The voice on the hospital intercom, 500 words. I've worked as a night nurse at St. Augustine's Hospital for years. The night shift has a certain rhythm. Distant alarms, low footsteps, machines humming like they're breathing. But one night, that rhythm broke. It was 3:12 a.m. when the intercom crackled to life. "Dr. Lewis to room 309, a calm voice said. I froze. Room 309 had been closed since 2016, after a fire killed a patient named Emily Ross. The entire wing had been sealed since that night. I called the security desk. Did someone patch into the intercom? They said no. The power to that wing had been disconnected years ago. A minute later, the intercom came alive again. "Dr. Lewis, room 309, hurry." The voice trembled this time, almost pleading. I should have ignored it, but curiosity got the better of me. The hallway toward 309 was pitch black, colder than usual. The smell of smoke and antiseptic filled the air. When I reached the door, I saw faint light through the window. Inside a hospital bed, a woman lying on it, pale, unmoving. I felt my stomach drop. That was impossible. The power in that room was off. Then she turned her head, slowly, and even through the glass, I saw her lips move. She whispered my name. The old chain around the door clicked loose, and the door creaked open by itself. I stepped back as the lights inside flickered wildly. The monitor beside her bed, long dead, beeped once, then silence. I ran to the security office and pulled up the feed. Every camera in that hall showed static, except one, the camera for 309. Through the blur, I saw her reflection in the window. Her face was burned, her eyes wide, her mouth forming two words, "Help me." Then the feed cut to black. The next morning, I checked the old patient files. Emily Ross died from smoke inhalation. Attending doctor, Dr. Michael Lewis. He died 3 days later. Cardiac arrest. Now, once every few weeks, the intercom still calls Dr. Lewis to room 309, and every time the voice sounds a little closer to my station. Story 3. The security feed, 500 words. I'm a night guard at an office tower downtown. Most nights are slow, just me, cold coffee, and rows of silent monitors. One night around 2:30 a.m., one of the cameras, as labeled 9th floor, flickered on. That made no sense. The building only has 8 floors. The feed showed a woman standing barefoot in the hallway, her hair wet, staring directly into the camera. I thought it was a system glitch. I checked the blueprint on my desk. No 9th floor existed. I looked back at the screen. The woman raised her hand and waved. The monitor went black. I grabbed my flashlight and went to check. The elevator didn't have a 9 button until it suddenly lit up. It shouldn't have been there. Before I could react, the doors closed. The elevator began moving up. Past 8, it stopped with a ding. When the doors opened, I stepped out into a dusty corridor. Old wallpaper peeled from the walls. Fluorescent lights flickered. Everything was covered in a thin layer of ash. At the end of the hallway, the woman stood with her back to me. "Hello," I called out. She turned around, her face pale and twisted, like something that hadn't seen sunlight in years. I stumbled backward. The lights went out. When I came to, I was lying in the lobby. The elevator doors were open. The 9 button was gone. The building manager didn't believe me. He just frowned and said quietly, "You're not the first to see her." Now every few nights the feed flickers again, showing the same hallway labeled floor 9, and the woman's still there. Only this time, she's closer to the camera. Story 4. The gas station window, 500 words. Working alone at a gas station off Highway 5, you get used to silence. Empty roads, the buzz of the lights, the occasional stranger at 2 a.m. But that night, something felt different. I was restocking shelves when I caught a glimpse of movement in the window. Someone standing outside watching me. I looked up. Nothing there. Just the reflection of my own face in the glass. I brushed it off, but when I checked the security cameras, one of them showed a tall figure standing near. Pump 3, motionless. I stepped outside. The air was cold, completely still. "We're closed," I called out. No answer. I walked around the pumps. Nothing. No footprints. But when I turned to head back in, the lights started flickering, one by one, leading from the farthest pump toward the window. My chest tightened. I ran back inside and locked the door. The cameras showed the figure again. Standing closer now, head tilted slightly as if staring straight into the lens. The power flickered and everything went black, except for the faint red open sign still glowing in the window. I looked into the glass again and froze. Behind my reflection was another one, a shadowy face smiling just over my shoulder. I turned around. Nothing. When power came back, the cameras were blank. Every single recording from that hour, corrupted. In the morning, my manager showed me something that made my blood run cold. He said, "You're not the first to see him." He pulled out an old Polaroid from a drawer, a blurry night photo of the station from the 1990s. Standing near Pump 3 was the same dark figure, same stance, same smile. Now, every night around 2 a.m., the lights start flickering again, and when I check the glass, there's always a reflection behind me, grinning from the dark. If even one of these stories made your heart race, hit like, comment still awake, and subscribe for more true horror every week, because somewhere out there, another story is just beginning.